Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero, the Dew Sweeper. You're about to listen to an episode of The Tour Coach, which is going to give you an inside look at coaching golf at the very highest level, from on the PGA Tour with my guys all the way to here at Mobile, Alabama in the Dew Sweeper Dome, as we help folks of all skill levels, all walks of life, learn to achieve their golfing goals. So in this episode of The Coach, you're going to hear some conversation and banter back and forth from one of really, truly what has become one of my favorite weeks of the year. You know, we work hard all year coaching and teaching these guys, and, you know, it's a long year, a lot of travel. We get the off season, you know, we get the holidays and we're home, and it's great to be home and spend a bunch of time in the Dome teaching or over in Panama City, and you know, really spent a lot of time with the juniors and so forth at that time. But then, you know, you go through the first, and, you know, I think for me anyways, I start itching and chomping at the bit to get back at it and to get back on the road and to do what we do. And so that right around the end of that first to second, or the beginning of the second week of January every year, I take a group of my pros down to South Florida, because the weather, you know, even with the Dome and so forth, the weather up in Alabama can be dodgy at best. It's right before the Web Tour and the PGA Tour gets going into full swing, and we love to go to South Florida, and we stay, rent a house together. We end up, you know, playing cards, dice, drinking beer, wine, going out to dinner. There's 4, 5, 6 of us every year, and playing golf every day, practicing in the morning, get a little, you know, we do some instruction, but it's really just playing golf, getting ready, shaking the rust off, and we go to some great places. You know, Old Palm and Mark Hackett down there is kind of our home base, and it's such a special place, and they do such a phenomenal job. And so anyways, it's turned in over 4 or 5 years into one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's like a guy's golf trip. I mean, you know, it's you know, a group of guys all getting together. We've all got one goal. We love golf, and we're trying to get better, and I'm trying to help them do that, and it's getting ready. And it's just like the beginning of baseball season. You know, before a game's played, everybody's got all these goals, and everybody's expecting a great and fantastic year. And I think it's, you know, so there's so much optimism when we head down there. And the last couple of years, I've kicked off that week with just me and a couple of us, Robbie Shelton and Michael Johnson. This past year, just me and Robbie went down to Key West for a couple of days of just R&R. And so the bonding experience and all of that is a huge part of it. And I think you will see in this discussion here, this was late on the last night that we were in town before everybody left. And this was Zack, who was getting ready to come back on a medical on the web, do his web starts in the PGA Tour, who you've heard a bunch of him with me on Cordy's podcast and stuff like that, but awesome young guy. Zack, who I've taught for a long time, and then Luke Guthrie, who has been lost in that netherland of really struggling and been lost in his game, but really sees the light at the end of the tunnel and starting to find his way out, and you'll hear the optimism in him. And so they're just two wonderful guys to hang out with, two wonderful guys to play golf with, coach, and we had a lot of fun. And I mean, you'll hear there, we got a little heated, Zack and I, one day, because over the bet and the strokes that they were giving me. But at the end of the day, we're all there to have fun. We're all there to get better, and we're all there to start the journey for the year 2019. And as Jackson Court calls it, hopefully the year of the Dew Sweeper. But I think if you love golf and you like behind the scenes, you'll love what you hear from this group. So it's Luke Guthrie, Zack, myself, and Jackson Court sitting around. There's obviously been some wine. It's the last night of Dew Sweeper camp in South Florida. Also, we're doing an awesome giveaway to kick off the podcast. You're going to get the chance to win a new Srixon driver. If you were lucky enough to hang out and play with me, you'd see that I've got this new sucker in the bag. I've got a 9.5 785 Srixon driver with a hazardous shaft. It is amazing. All of the numbers, it was Srixon for years, but this is the first driver I ever remember from Srixon or Cleveland Golf that when we put it on the TrackMan or on the quad, that the numbers against every other leading driver out there are better than any of the competition. It's unbelievable, and I love it. Couldn't speak more highly of it. We fit lots of good young players, lots of good amateur players, put them in. You know, I always tell people, I'm going to put you in what you play the best, because that's how I get paid, whether you're a professional player or whether you're a junior player. I mean, you playing well is how I get my notoriety, how I generate my revenue, and how I've built my reputation. And I wouldn't put a Shrixon driver in somebody's bag if it wasn't the best. And we're putting a lot of them in folks' bags. So go ahead and enter for a chance to win this driver. Here's how you do it. You subscribe to the podcast in the Apple Podcasts. You listen to the show, leave a review of the show, screenshot your review, and then email that screenshot to hey@golfsciencelab.com. That's hey@golfsciencelab.com. And if you want special bonus entries, share out on social media you're listening, and we'll increase your chance of winning. Don't miss out on this, as you only have our first 3 weeks to enter and win this. It's a great chance to get a great driver. Plus, I think you're going to love the stuff that Cordy and I've put together for you coming out that's going to give you an inside the world of golf look at what it's like to be a coach at the highest level with PGA Tour players, as well as developing junior players, what it's like on the road, as well as here in the Dome in Mobile, Alabama. So don't miss this opportunity for the first 3 weeks to win the brand new Shrixon 785 driver. All right, let's get to this episode. We got a few dew sweepers here. We got Jackson Court, the loyal assistant, faithful assistant here. Kicked ass this week bringing all the stuff down.
It was a good time.
Yeah, great time. Luke Guthrie, Web Tour.
What's going on, guys?
Yes. And not new to the podcast world, Zack who's made a big reemergence on social media lately. Zach, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, Zach had our first fight, and I've had our first fight too. We'll get into that. That'd be a good story. Anyways,
You gotta feel bad about it.
No. I mean, I don't want you to feel bad about it. So I think one of the cool things. This is actually like one of my favorite weeks of the year. Coming down with all the guys. We've got a few that are missing in action right now, but so I'm almost. Well, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, this thing can be edited.
Put it on the sheet. They're a little bit late.
Put it on the sheet. So anyway, so everybody always wants to know, like, what goes on in the off season. And to me, this is one of my favorite weeks because it's basically week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there before everybody goes back to play. And I want to start with Luke because I think it's interesting. So that like a year ago, you had more status, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more status. And when we started, but to me, it's interesting because you actually are in a better place and a better frame of mind, even though you don't have as much status, like just working with you, watching you, and all that. And I think that's interesting because most people don't get that. I mean, most people would think like if you're starting the year off and you got a little better status, you got to be in a better spot, but you're not. And I mean, that's why I think everybody that's been in the house this week, next year is going to have their PGA Tour card out. We start every year off that way. And so to me, that's an interesting point though, is that why do you feel like you're in a better place?
Oh, I just feel like I know what the heck I'm doing with my golf swing and know where the ball is going to go. We just got off the course today and felt like I wasn't even hitting at my best and hit some kind of skanky shots out there, but it's going towards my target. You can play with that. And yeah, you said last year I had full status, but still, we just started working together in October that year, and we were ironing some things out, but it's a process to anything, and I was still kind of struggling and just still a little lost in my game and stuff, and it was a long year of kind of building confidence, and we hit on something a week after season this year, and it finally kind of started clicking. This offseason's been the best offseason of my career. And I've been building on it week after week, and it's been fun just to see the progress I've been making.
Before we jump over to Zach, let's talk a little bit about what we hit on, because I thought it was pretty cool. You came to the Dome. We had some fun. I mean, also, too, you are voted the most, changed dew sweeper over the last year. I mean,
I've had the nickname 2.0.
2.0. I mean, totally. I mean, you got to admit, I think we introduced him to wine at the house. I mean, total transformation here. Proud of that.
There's a few more smiles coming from this body.
A lot of smiles, enjoying hanging out with everybody. And I think that's a cool deal. I mean, I think that's what we're about. But, okay, so you came to the Dome and you said, you hit on something. Yeah. Talk about what we hit on, because it was very simple. It wasn't like we did rocket science or anything.
Yeah, the game is endlessly simple and also difficult. But all year you're preaching to me to get through the ball better and get my chest through it. Your chest is hanging back, and I wanted to yell back at you sometimes.
You did, and you yelled a couple times. I mean, you did.
I yelled softly.
A couple times it wasn't soft.
No, I just couldn't figure out what
that one. And if I wouldn't have had the hole in my leg that one week, I think we'd have tied up. I mean,
you're not bitter about it all.
No.
Okay, just making sure. No, but it was just like a big battle with myself, just trying to figure out what that meant to me, like what the feeling was that translated to me that you were trying to get me to do. And I kind of mentioned something to me about kind of how I used to feel with my right wrist going through the impact, and how it kind of got through there. It felt a little lower, and I felt like my right wrist, I don't know what the right word would be, flexed through impact. And you're like, oh, just hit a shot for me, like feeling like you hold that through all the way. And I was like, whoa. And it was all of a sudden a better golf shot, and it pulled my chest through. So what you've been trying to get me to do most of the year was achieved through something different. And I went back home, and I took a couple weeks off because that was right after season, but started grinding on it. And by golly, it's starting to work, and freaking start building on it and adding some stuff here and there. And here we are in golf camp, and I'm still smiling. So that's a good thing.
one of the neat things is for good players, like we spend all this time, Zack and I've done it, everybody's done it, like we talk about, like, I mean, for lack of a better word, like the big muscles. We talk about turning through and all that. But I think it's pretty interesting how good players, really talented folks like yourselves, have a lot of feel in your hands. And sometimes it's easier to get you guys to do something by showing you where your hands have to be or what they have to do going through. And, and so we took a little different approach. And, and then we switch over here to Zack, who's Zack Suker's PGA Tour. We joke, I mean, we had a 2-year sabbatical where I still taught him, but I didn't teach him. And coming off of medical. And so Zack, to me, is interesting from the fact that, like, I was asking you to do stuff that I knew you couldn't physically do, right? Because, like, your absolutely. Ankle would basically pop out of joint. I mean, we're not joking here, really. I mean, you couldn't do it. And you finally got to the point as a PGA Tour player where you said, like, hey, I got to go get this looked at. And it is amazing how since you've had the surgery, the stuff with your ankle and your knee, like, how much faster you've gotten better. And so, like, to me, the last couple of days, we've spent time every morning, one morning way too early at Colby's, but, like, the importance of your body being able to do that. And I think we overlook it sometimes, but talk a little bit about that. I mean, you're able to do the stuff that we've been trying to do for a while. We tried to work around it, and now you're able to do it, but not only are you able to do it, but you're getting better faster than, like, we've had bigger jumps than we ever had in the, what do we figure out while we were at the Woods 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years we've been together, and basically the first, like, 6 of those, I couldn't do it. I mean, I knew I needed to do it, but this is probably the last few months has been the first time in basically 7 years we've been working on the same stuff that I'm actually feel like I'm kind of getting there, which is awesome.
So there's probably people that are, like, saying, well, you should have fired him because he was asking you to do stuff you couldn't have done. But, I mean, as a teacher, it's hard because, like, you were always in the middle of seasons, and it was hard to get you to say, like, hey, Zack, like, your ankle, you can't, I mean, that thing won't stay in place.
Well, yeah, I wanted to hit a cut, and it wasn't going to, what you were telling me was the only way it was going to happen. So it was the right, I needed to get to my left side. And so it was the right thing.
So talk about your excitement now going into this year. Obviously, Luke's in a good spot, feels the best he's felt with his golf swing. Talk a little bit about how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I think we were down here 2 years ago was the last time I was down here at this camp. And
last year had the surgery and did all that.
Yeah, been out for a while. And it's kind of exciting. I think when we were down here last time, there were 8 guys, and I was by far the shortest. It wasn't even close. It was kind of depressing leading into the year, hitting it, bunting it out there 280 and feeling at 260, and I felt like I was swinging pretty hard. And so this year I'm hitting it, keeping up with everybody, and back where I want to be. So it's huge confidence boost moving forward. I'm actually hitting cuts as well, so 2 wins.
In fact, like the first day we all played, Lucas, Glover, me, you, MJ, Robbie, Shelton, and majority of the time, I mean, at least the majority of the time, you were by far the longest guy out there. Or, I mean, everybody was within a couple steps. You guys gave me a set of tees, which I still claim I deserve, and the 4 shot. But we'll talk about that. It'll be a separate podcast. I mean, but, always further. And, I mean, that's a big part of you. You've learned now to create speed the right way.
Yeah, it's probably the best place I've been in like 5 years, which is awesome. Huge confidence going forward.
So let's talk a little bit. Jackson, grab the mic. So Jackson Court works with me. I mean, he's epic. I mean, the stuff he does here at golf camp. But talk a little bit about from an outside perspective for a minute before we turn it back over to these guys. Why do you like coming down to golf camp?
I think it's a great environment that you create. From the outside looking in, I love the team aspect of it. Everybody's rooting for each other.
No, they're not. Zack was not rooting for me.
That's true.
I'm rooting for everybody but Tony.
Yeah, that's right. But like everybody's pulling for each other to have a good year and have a good season and continue to get better. And that's something I really do appreciate. We always talk about winning and the big picture and getting better every year. And I think sometimes that can be lost in our world, Tony and I, but with golf instruction, it's not so much about the swings, it's about the game, and so I do appreciate that. And I think coming down here and seeing everybody, and what I appreciate, and I learn a ton from those guys. You know what I mean? I learn more coming to these camps than I do try and put my 2 cents in when I can, and obviously I learn a ton from Tony as well. But like the difference between each player, like watching Luke hit shots, and he's always talking about what the ball's doing. And then his feels from the different shots
are way different than Zack's. They're trying to hit the same shot. That's right. What's interesting.
Exactly. We were team cut out there today, and we did pretty well. But like Zack's,
you should not have had a stroke on the last one.
And so
I can't remember.
And so Zack's hitting the same shot, right? But they're working on different things, and Zack's feels are way different than Luke's. And the way they see the balls and the way they feel their swing changes coming and what you guys are working on, I think is an interesting mix, between everybody.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. If you're looking to see more of a visual side of this podcast, videos of me working with players, there's tips, strategies, all that good stuff that you like for an inside the ropes, behind the scenes look at life on the PGA Tour or teaching and developing some of the best players around the country, head over to golfsciencelab.com/Tony and check out the content there. There's tons of good stuff out there. There's more good stuff coming, but hopefully you enjoy it. I think the cool thing is watching everybody. We come down every year. I ask you to drive, or I drive, we bring the stuff down and we use it for 20 minutes, right? The swing catalyst, which is great and all that. But it's more like, I like watching everybody interact with each other, and we try to mix up the play. We're going to wrap it up. A bunch of the guys leaving tomorrow. Zack and I are actually going to be partners tomorrow, and he's not going to mind me getting the 4 strokes.
First time ever.
He's not going to mind me getting my 4 strokes and the set of tees.
I'm glad I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be against that team.
Anyways, but I think, people always ask, I think one thing that's cool is how everybody gets along and how everybody pulls together. And you saw it on the web. I thought it was great on the web last year. I traveled as much on the web last year as I mean, not as much as the tour, but like spent a lot of time out there. Luke, you were out there. And I thought the dinners that we did on the Tuesday nights and Wednesday night, it was cool. I think the way everybody likes playing with each other. And it was cool to me watching Lucas help Michael with putting, watching everybody interact and try to help each other and talk about what they saw and what they think. And I think that's a neat thing. And I think that gets lost. What your guys' thoughts are. What do you think, Luke, about golf camp? And why do you think this is a good week?
This is my second year at golf camp. I was a new,
I feel like your parents dropped you off.
Yeah, right. Took the school bus down. But no, last year I was kind of a newbie, knew some of the guys a little bit, but everyone took me in, and it was fun just kind of observing. I tend to be a shy guy, so kind of sat back and just observed and hung out and started building some relationships last year. And this year's been fun, just kind of opening up and like you're saying, just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. Everyone here has a lot of experience in the game of golf, and everyone has their own PhD kind of in golf. And it's just fun to pick everyone's brain and kind of see how their brain works, how they kind of translate feels, and are they more mechanical feel, what they think of this, how they go about their business on the course, or maybe there's something new with how they approach reading a putt, just any little thing. I mean, it's just fun to see that. And like you have mentioned, like the team aspect, that people are so willing to help each other here. It is a team. We're kind of the dew sweepers here. And it's just a fun conversation out there. Looking forward to tomorrow and playing one more round of golf and having that kind of atmosphere. It's unique in the game. We play an individual game, so you don't have that.
Yeah, and like obviously both y'all were really good in college. I mean, great college players. And I mean, I think you had more of that in college. I mean, there was that team aspect of it, everybody working, and I mean, golf's so individual, but I think golf's pretty lonely out there. I mean, when you start playing bad, I mean, I think it feels, I mean, to me, even as a coach, like when everybody's playing bad and we all have stretches where we're not playing good, you feel like you suck and nobody cares. Everybody's against you, And so to me, when you have a group of you that everybody's still pulling together. I mean, even though when you guys tee it up, in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, I mean, you're trying to play your best for your career and your family and all that. Like, you still want the other guys that we all hang out with to play well. And I think that's different. I mean, and I think that's good. I mean, to me, is doing what I do. It makes me feel good that like we all try to help each other and we all try to pull each other through.
Yeah, we're all kind of pushing each other. We're all competitors here. We want to beat each other, but it's in a healthy manner. And as one guy gets better, the next guy gets better. We're pushing each other, and it's exactly like a team. I remember the team aspect. I was lucky to be on a really fun team, and we were pushing each other, and everyone got so much better in college because of that aspect. Everybody was trying to kick each other's freaking butt every day, and whether it was a putting contest, whether it was who knows, game of beer pong or anything. We're competitors. We wanted to beat each other. So yeah.
And that kind of leads into what, I mean, is a joke. I mean, we've been joking, but like, we play a little bit. It's 2 groups, right? I mean, it's not much. And I mean, I'm going to put you on this, but like, look, even though we come back here and we've had 3 bottles of wine tonight or whatever, who's counting? And
there's only one hole in the wall.
There's only one hole in the wall, right? But there's a broken chandelier out there, but that's from Zack fishing. But anyways, but like, we're competitors, right? And even me, who sucks, right? Not any good. So we want, you don't want to just get your teeth kicked in for 2 days. I want to play against those guys as good as I can. I can't do it as good anymore. But like, I mean, I think that was like, as I look back, we were driving in today, I was like, I mean, that was kind of a cool thing. Like, so Zack and I got irritated with each other because he played good. I had some strokes, lost the bet. He lost the bet, right? I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you played good too. So,
but I did play good,
yeah.
Right? And so we got into it a little bit, called each other some names or whatever, but it was fine. Now, I mean, everybody's fine, but like, that shows you, I think that competition like that's good for people. Like, and it's okay. I mean, like, it's okay to get pissed at somebody that you pull for, you care about. Like, it's okay to do that. Like, and it's okay to not want somebody to run over you. I mean, and I think that's one thing that's cool about this. We kind of compete, and we even like joke when we make the teams, like everybody's trying to get an edge on the teams.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You do well at that.
Just kidding. And it does help. I mean,
this week's awesome. The guy, like, it is great. Like, the betting's awesome. We all get out there. We practice hard in the morning. We're all working on not new stuff, but we're working on something. And then we got something on the line, so we're putting it to the test. Mm-hmm. under some sort of pressure. And so it's good. It's good. It's really good practice leading into the year. It's like spring training every year. And it's an awesome way to put it under at least some pressure before the year starts. It's nice.
Playing with good players, I mean, I try to do that with my junior players. It's harder, but like, just play with better players. I mean, if you play with people that are really good, I think you'll figure it out. So now, I mean, as we kind of wrap this up, so Zach, and I'm gonna ask Luke the same thing. I'm a big plan guy. I think we've got a great plan. I think one of the things we've stressed, and we talked a little bit about it on the tee, is just having a little more structure in what we do and staying with what we're doing now that you're physically able to do it. So what would you say is like, what do you feel like is your road to success, and what's going to be a good year for you?
My number one goal, and this is going back a couple months ago, was to get some speed back because I hadn't had it in so long. And so I think I'm better than I ever was on that, which is exciting. I think the next thing, just based off the last few days, that I need to get comfortable with is not playing I basically haven't played a tournament for 17 months. And so I think the next thing will be getting comfortable with any pressure on the line because I haven't done it in so long. And so that's the immediate goal, is to say, I got to get in the next, I don't have long before we start in Bogota, but to work on something where I have a little more on the line before I get there. So it's not so foreign, because it has been so long. I noticed that a little bit this week. I won't say I wasn't comfortable with situations, but it just felt a little bit different. I haven't done it much. The other thing is just working on what we worked on today, was loading into that right leg a little more, and then also being able to get off it, which
not hump it.
Exactly right. Yeah. I haven't done that in years. So it's
I mean, he does. I mean, when you're not,
I do, yeah.
But it's because of your injury. So when you're, you have a tendency to, I don't know, all the technical terms. It looks like you're humping a goat coming into it, right? So you got to learn to stay in your posture and rotate through it and overcome what was probably 2-3 years of playing
at least. Yeah. Exactly right. So it's got I have some great stuff to work on going forward, which is nice.
Yeah, and the speed's encouraging. So Luke, as we go over to you, I feel like, you're just in such a good place, and I don't think people put enough importance on where a player, like how good a place a player's in. I mean, you see guys that have good status and they go out and they have shitty years, and they don't realize, man, the guy was just in a bad place with his game, didn't really understand what it was, or he wasn't in a good place at home or whatever. Like, being in a good place is important.
No doubt. Obviously it's going to be a challenge this year because there's no guaranteed starts in my future.
But you're not panicked at all.
No, I'm just hoping for some good opportunities early in the season, because if I just get a couple opportunities, my game's going to show through. Now, where before I felt like I needed 8 opportunities because at some point I'm going to play good, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it felt like. Now it's like, give me a few, and something good's going to happen, and I can put my best foot forward. And so it's a little weird. I haven't sat down and really made my goals for this year yet. I'm kind of coming off the holiday season. It was a little crazy over the last month, but I need to do that. And it's just, obviously you want to win. You want to be number one on the money list and go to the PGA Tour. Definitely. I need to, my goal is to make some good process goals, really stick to them. I made a nice little sheet earlier in the off season of practice schedules. I'm not huge on like schedules and like structure. I like structure, but be a little free within structure.
You don't like structure. I guess. You don't like structure.
Yeah, I want to be able to do what I want in a day, but hold my feet to the fire when it really means something, kind of thing. But I did that, and I got a lot better this offseason, so I really want to stick to that. And whether I'm playing good or bad in that moment, have something to come back to. Like, oh, it's Tuesday. This is what I'm gonna rock on right here. I can do a little block practice on my long game, and then it's a short game practice here and there, this game that I have, and then maybe a 9-hole worst ball scramble, whatever it is. But stick to that. Some of those process goals I want to really focus on, and obviously be ready when my opportunities come and pounce on them. And I have a little experience with that. In 2012, when I came out of college, I got one start and took advantage of it. Pro golf, you don't get a ton of them. When the opportunities come by, you need to be ready and seize the moment.
And I think the one thing that I'd say about both of you guys is both of you guys know how to win. I mean, Zack, you've won on the web tour and had a bunch of success doing that. Luke, you too. And I mean, so, that I think that's a big thing. And, I know Dr. Greg Carton, and I've spent a bunch of time with him. He always just says, like, one thing you always have to remember is, like, in golf, like, you only have to do it 1 week. I mean, you're 1 week away from changing the whole gig. And so if we're prepared, we have a good off season and we're in a good place, we got that opportunity when you're ready to go. So anyways, it's been a great golf camp. Jackson, I'm going to let you wrap it up. What are your parting thoughts? I mean, other than probably had too much red wine.
No, I'm good. I got a question for each of them. So Zack was talking.
Wow, I didn't know you were actually going to work here.
Is that all right?
No, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that just kind of surprises me. I mean, I'm not going to pay you anymore for doing this.
I'll finish my Coors Light. So Zack was talking about.
Does it have anything to do with snook?
No.
Okay.
So Zack was talking about getting ready for pressure. And I was curious if there's anything that he can do or does when he practices, when he's back at home, or when he's playing with his buddies that puts him in that environment. Are there drills? Are there practice sessions? Are there games that he kind of goes back to that creates an environment that will bring that out and prepare him? Obviously he's getting ready and he's got some warm-up starts, but is there something he can do on his own back at home?
I think first off, I'm going to do some leg putting drills or 2 putting drills from distance before I can go home. Because right now, like, my speed's been off today. I didn't like it on the back 9 when we actually had some pressure. I 3-putted twice and the speed was awful. And so I've got to work on that. So I'm going to do some.
That's not a fundamental. I mean, that's just practice. Don't you agree?
Exactly
just
right.
focusing on.
I haven't done it, and it was a different feeling. I mean, every game I've played for the last few months, it's just make everything.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely have I had to 2-putt any distant putts in the last year that mattered anything. I mean, it's the last 2 years that's mattered. And so today, when I actually needed to do it, I didn't do it, and I don't like that. So yeah, I'm going to work on some leg drills and work on something that puts some pressure on before I go home that I have to finish. And so, that's about it.
Is it similar to something you would do on the road as well?
Exactly right. Yeah, I'm going to do one of the things I usually do is I always do. I think we talked about this last time. I do this at Shoal Creek. They have these 5 holes on the green, and they're all like 25 feet apart. I got to play them 2 under before I go home. And so I think I'm going to end up doing like 5 rounds without a 3-putt or something around them. Just something to work on where I'll have a bunch of 3, 4, 5 footers in it that I can't miss one before I leave.
For Luke, what's the one thing, right? So he's been in the pressure situations a little bit more recently than Zack. So what's the one thing, like the last little piece that he's got to polish up before he goes back to competitive play?
Good question. Bringing that high heat here.
He's the brains of the operation. In case you didn't know.
What's the one thing? Yeah, it's just that extra little gear. Like Zack kind of referenced it there. Like there's I feel like different levels of pressure. Like you obviously want to do good, and when you really want to make a putt or really pull off a shot, are you going to put your best foot forward? And it doesn't mean it's always going to work out, but you can only control what you can control. You can hit your best putt, you can have your best speed and give it the best chance, have it high side soft, and by golly, if it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. But I think, like Zack said, it's just getting more of that competitive practice and challenging yourself, and some of the things like you can't go home before you get this done. I mean, sometimes you want to go home like late at night, and if you have a practice game, like my college coach made us do this game before we could go home, and he would make a 5-hole up and down challenge. We had to finish it in 9 strokes before we could go home. So you got to get 4 up and down, chip 1 in. And if you had an 8-footer on your last one, you were 1 under and you had to make it, my hands were shaking. I wanted to freaking make that putt and have practice like that and really see how you respond. And then whether you push it or you pull it, you hit it too hard, you hit it too soft, you're too tentative, and kind of be cognizant of where you're at. And I feel like those moments, and you kind of know what your tendencies are a little bit in those moments, and then you're ready to kind of, I don't know if make up for them is the right word, but just being cognizant of them. I think all you got to do is just kind of understanding what your tendency is, and then kind of being free with it and giving it your best go.
I think awareness is a big thing. When you go back from like where you are now, you start being aware of what you're doing out there and being aware of the details. And I think that's one of the hard things when you're not playing good. I think people aren't very aware of the details they need to do to play good. And then when you haven't played a lot, like you haven't, Zach, just being aware of the stuff that you got to go out there and do. You know, we just talked about that on the tee for 2 minutes today. Just a little more structure. I think that's a big deal. You know, I preach awareness. I mean, I'm probably not great at it myself, but you guys need to do it. So anyways, I think that's the end of a golf camp. Did good. Jackson kicked ass this week. Absolutely. Zach, Luke, I guess we'll just sit up and wait for MJ and Robbie to come back.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Tour Coach with Tony Ruggiero. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are listening to this podcast. You can stay up to date because we have weekly episodes coming your way with fascinating people in the world of golf instruction at the highest level. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. If you want to learn more about Tony, head over to dosweepersgolf.com to get all the details on what he's up to. Maybe you want to see him, grab a lesson, or go to one of his camps, pick up his book, Lessons from the Legends. You can do that there. If you want to see Tony in action with some videos and other content, head over to golfsciencelab.com/Tony to get more info there. This episode was powered by the Golf Science Lab and was edited, mixed, and produced by Just Hit Publish Productions.
The rule of three states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. With our GMC Yukon, Acadia, and Terrain, we couldn't agree more. Step up to the family-focused Yukon, built for transporting your family across town to school or across the country. Or the 2019 GMC Acadia, delivering available third-row seating for up to 7 passengers. Need something mighty? Then meet the 2019 GMC Terrain, built with the perfect combination of styling, utility, and efficiency. 3 sizes, 1 GMC. Choose like a pro. Step up to GMC with 16% below MSRP on most 2019 Acadia and Terrain models when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade. GMC. Excludes SL models. Includes price reduction below MSRP and purchase allowance. Must finance through GM Financial. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with some other offers. Take retail delivery by 4/1/19. See participating dealer for details.
There's one thing, if you know about me, if you've listened to the Dew Sweepers, you've come to listen to me talk, is you know I'm big on loyalty. We give 100% here at the Dew Sweepers. We put a lot of emotional investment into everything we do with every one of our players. And the same can be said for our partners and the folks that have been with us for the long haul and help the Dew Sweepers, help our juniors, help us get to our tour players. And so I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors. Our sponsors are, first and foremost, Buick and our local Buick dealers here around the Southeast, Shrixon Cleveland Golf, who've been with me for over a dozen years, and their belief and support of what we do here with the Dew Sweepers. And lastly, the folks at Vineyard Vines. The folks at Vineyard Vines love what we do with junior golf. They support us on the road. There isn't a better family or group of people that are going to help us look our best, play our best, and have more fun than the folks at Vineyard Vines. So special thanks to our sponsors. Please support those as you get the opportunity. And for more information about any of those, check us out at dewsweepersgolf.com, or you can always check me out on Instagram at @thedewsweeper.